Sorry, everyone. Did not mean to cough. First thing. That happened. Good Monday to all of you. Welcome in. The stream will be starting shortly. Just gonna give it a few more minutes before we begin. I hope that everybody's week is off to a great start. Can you hear the music okay?
It's very soft.
Trying to get everything balanced out, peeps. Hello, Dragneel. Welcome in. You'll be my test dummy. How is the music? Is it okay? Do I need to turn it up? Yes, I changed it. How about now, Dragneel? I never know, because, yeah, it's just hard to tell. Hello, Baby Frog. Welcome in. Pizza be a poppin'. People a be a gathering. Well, we're gonna start. Today's topic is the importance of human connections. But first, we always like to ask ourselves what we have done for our mental health this week. So, Taiwai, what have you done for your mental health this week?
Hello, everyone. I have done a couple of things. Mostly trying to take it easy on the one day off this weekend that I got. I ended up working most of Sunday, so I didn't get a full weekend, which meant on Saturday I tried to take it a little bit easier to actually get a bit of rest So we did a little bit of work around the house, got a couple of chores done, and then kind of relaxed and went to go to a friend's place. He just got a new apartment, so I wanted to show like congratulations and visit him and just kind of see how things were going. So it was really nice to spend a bit of time with him, even if it was just checking in on him and not actually doing a whole lot than just talking. So past that, I did a little bit of hobby, not as much as I wanted to.
Yeah, I know. Until we get him his own mic and his own avatar and stuff, this is the way it's gonna be.
Yep. We're both our setups are so close. We're running off of one microphone, unfortunately. But I get you. It is kind of funny. Anyways, what was I saying? Right. I did a little bit of art and a little bit of hobby, but not as much of as I wanted to. What about you, Wes? What have you done this week for your mental health?
So this week for my mental health, I invited a friend over, and they came over a couple of times throughout the week to keep me company. Um, I was struggling really badly with my depression this week, so I just reached out to a couple of friends a couple of times to see who would be willing to come over and hang out with me to keep me company so that it wouldn't be as lonely and wouldn't be as much of a struggle. Um, Normally, I don't do that, but I am happy that I did this week. So I'm proud of myself, giving myself a pat on the back for that. Um, I also we had a couples movie night that we did together, so that was nice. We watched the new K-pop Demon Hunters, and that was pretty cool, pretty great. And some of the music has been stuck in our heads, more so on Taiwai's behalf than on mine. He's been addicted to
Soja Boys.
the Soja Boys, yes.
I don't know what it is about musicals, but they have a tendency to be a bigger earworm than the actual music on the radio nowadays. So, I have Your Idol stuck in my head. And when it's not that, it's,
Golden?
Soda Pop.
Oh, soda. Yeah, soda pop. Golden gets stuck in my head.
So,
And Your Idol.
musicals are fun. So, what has, everyone in chat done this week to kind of help out with their mental health? I know, Dragneel, you got your oven fixed, and I'm sure that's a load of stress off your shoulders.
Dragneel also says that they talk to all of us on Discord, which is great.
I wish I was more active on the Discord, but I, however, am terrible at just dropping in and dropping messages.
You also work like in 8 to 6, so yeah.
I can agree with that, Dragneel. I've got, I'm a part of a Discord group or community that's one of my hobbies, and if I wasn't there, I wouldn't be doing that hobby. None of my local friends care about that hobby, and it wounds me. So it's great to have people online, and we're happy that our Discord can bring some joy to those around.
Yes, that it's very nice to know that it helps you all.
Oh, I'm gonna make class cry.
Yes, stop.
Well, we are happy to know you guys, have you as part of the community. Moving is always a bit of a challenge.
Man, having a friend that lives 5 hours away is tough. I feel that because like my hometown is 5 hours away, and I have fallen out of contact with like everybody I grew up with, pretty much. There's only like one person that I still talk to, and they're 5 hours away. And I talk to them on Discord like weekly, but they're pretty busy, and so it's just tough. Keeping in contact when people are so far away is really tough. So that kind of goes into what we were going to talk about. That would be nice. Yeah. When it's closer, you're able to like travel to them. Yeah. As somebody who doesn't drive though, like I don't have the ability to do that. So I just and even if I did, I don't think I would really drive to see people because I have the tendency to not want to leave my house alone. I kind of struggle with that. Yeah, we were going to talk about how it's important to have like online communities or in person communities. And they serve different purposes. So, I find that it's easier to have online communities now, especially after COVID. So a lot of the communities that I participate in and the human connections that I have are online. And I participate in quite a few Discord communities. And that is how I keep my human connections, really. And it helps with my depression, and it helps with me because I'm very introverted. And so it doesn't tax me as much as being in person does. I mean, it still taxes me somewhat because it's still that interaction part, but it's a different way. It's just a little bit different. So it's not as strenuous on me, I guess, as in person is. And it's not as an anxiety inducing for me as in person communication is. because I'm not very good at reading people. So, like, yeah, Dragneel gets it. Dragneel gets it. I'm not very good at reading people, so I misread people's facial expressions or body language all the time. Like, I assume the worst rather than reading it for what it actually is. Like, I'm just like, oh, that person's angry, when really they're indifferent. Or they don't really care. Or something. Like, I just assume that people are upset a lot. Which raises my anxiety. So, yeah. It doesn't do me any favors, but I don't know how to read people, so that's big. What about you, Taiwai?
For me, I find it easier to have in-person communities and groups of friends. Partway in due to being the opposite, I am an extrovert. I love being out and around people and being active in groups when I'm physically around people, and it often makes me like hard to participate in like discords and online chats unless I'm like dedicating time to it, because I will just continue about my day and just kind of forget about the chat. And so if I ever go quiet for a real long time, I apologize. But I try to keep a small group of people that I see on like a weekly basis or maybe even a monthly basis. And over the years, that group has changed, because not everyone's meant to be part of your life for your whole time. Some people are only there for a little bit, and some people are there for a bit longer. So my group is ever evolving, but I always like to keep a few people that I keep in contact with, whether that's scheduling a sit down and coffee, or hang out and play a game, or like Magic the Gathering, or some other type of video game, or TTRPG. And it just seems that's where I get my energy from, where I get that kind of relaxation is when I'm out and around people.
Yeah, I'm the same, Dragneel. Like, if I'm around people doing people stuff, it takes me a really long time to recover. Like, I don't know if I would say 2 days of recovery, but um, it definitely takes me a while, and I usually try and sleep it off, to be honest.
There was a week earlier this year where we had like Tuesday, somebody was coming over to hang out with us after work. Wednesday, somebody was coming over to play board games after work. Thursday, somebody was coming over to hang out after work and just chill. Friday, my folks were coming over for dinner. And Saturday, we were gonna play Magic with a friend. We made it to like Wednesday night, and Glass was like, I cannot do this. We need to cancel something. I am so peopled out. And so we shuffled some stuff around and made it work.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna die. I can't. It's too much. Too much people. 3 days of people, and then we were gonna do 5, and I was like, I can't. This is gonna kill me.
Yeah, I've noticed since COVID, I've even me as an extrovert, I've kind of cut back on stuff because I had to stop hanging out with people for fear of bringing sickness back into the household. And so my normal in-person TTRPGs became along the lines of like remote and voice chat, and it puts such an odd feeling that for a bit of time it was hard to get back into going out and doing things, like even just like going to the park. Like that whole year we were afraid to go out to just our local park or anything like that, and it really makes us think twice. If there's a large gathering of people, do we really want to be here nowadays? Maybe I get like that sometimes, but being an extrovert, I'm always the type of person to like, if I can be around people, I will be. Though Glass is the type that like, she's more for chilling alone when possible.
Yes. Um, I like being alone a lot, but I lately, like, because of my depression, I have been pushing myself to not be alone. And that's been actually really helpful for me. So, like, um, I don't know. I'm a little bit conflicted because, like, on one hand, I'm introverted and people drain me. And then on the other hand, like, my depression needs the people. so, so I'm very conflicted lately.
Ruby, I get that dealing with people all day, but to me, customers aren't like people. They're customers. Like, yes, of course, they're people, but I don't see them and get the same interaction with my customers as I do hanging out with my friends. And so, like, even though, like, I was hanging out with, or not hanging out with, I was helping customers upgrade to, like, a new office suite and stuff like that. And I was on the phone for, like, a good 2 hours today. I was still like, okay, I want to be around people. And knowing that we had this, I was like, okay, that's something to do. Although I was a little nervous because we didn't prep as much to talk about as we usually do. But, we'll make it work.
It's going good so far.
Yep. Dragneel, I think I've heard Glass say something similar about me.
Drink water, you dehydrated
I am currently drinking Mountain Dew dragon fruit.
The fruit of Dragneel.
The fruit of Dragneel.
It's an interesting flavor. I'm not a huge dragon fruit fan. But it has the word dragon in it, so I'm like torn because I love dragons. Like Spyro was my
Yeah, it
favorite
doesn't
growing
really taste like dragon fruit though.
I don't know, it tasted good. At least to an extent.
Like, to an extent it does, but not as much as I thought it would.
Back on topic. I think it's useful to have multiple different groups, whether it's like people that share a hobby with you, so when you're dealing with that hobby, you can interact with those people and kind of get that connection, people that share the same likes. And then like for me, even so much as like my coworkers, I like talking with them, catching up with them. I start every single day when my coworker comes to work about noon, asking them, how his day's been, did he do anything fun last night, that type of stuff. Did he play any video games? How's things going? Just to kind of get, the day started out on the right note. And it just, yeah, that personal connection could be something as simple as, like, a coworker or a friend you talk to once in a while, or a group that you share a hobby with, or even so much as, like, an organization like a church or a local game store or something like that.
Or a book club at your local library.
Or a book. So I think it's beneficial to spread out and get a little bit of that. Not necessarily all eggs in one basket, but like having those different touchstones you can reach towards.
Yes. And sorry for those of you that have been shadow realmed.
I don't like being a subscriber because, like, I don't know it goes to Shadow Realm anymore.
Yeah.
I was gifted the sub and I'm thankful for the gift, but at the same time, it's like I kind of like seeing the ads because on my screen I don't know when the ads are playing, so I just end up talking into the void.
I get it.
Comfy and don't want to get up. When you just message the husband and be like, hey, could you come here? And on your way. That's happened to me a time or two.
Yeah, I do that to Taiwai often. So, hey honey, can you, grab me a drink, please? It's the way to be. It's the way to be.
Drinking flavored water tonight because I don't want the caffeine to keep me up any later than I will already inevitably be up.
Yes. Taiwai is sensitive to sugar and caffeine. Because he doesn't have ADHD like me.
Noticed that on my normal day, I quit drinking caffeine about like 5 o'clock, and I get to bed about midnight. Fridays, if we go out to eat with my folks and I have some caffeine, I'm usually up till like 2 or 3 in the morning. And that's just having caffeine at like 6, as opposed to stopping at 5. I used to be able to do that. I miss those days. I think what happened was I stayed up all night drinking, I think it was like 2 liters of Mountain Dew Voltage and a miscellaneous amount of Mountain Dew cans, playing a video game. And I'm pretty sure since then I've been a little bit more sensitive to caffeine. I think I was up for like 30 hours. Most likely. Last does, for sure.
I do. It's diagnosed. And caffeine does not affect me like it affects other people. In fact, it just doesn't. I have to drink like 9 shots of coffee to have it affect me. To have it like, to feel it and be like, oh, that's a caffeine buzz. That's nice. That right there, that's the holy grail. But yeah. And I have to drink it within a certain period of time too, or it doesn't affect me. But yeah, I can drink a crap ton of sugar and a crap ton of caffeine and just go straight to bed. Because it doesn't make me hyper, it doesn't make me anything. I just randomly get hyper because I have ADHD. And because I have ADHD, I get more sleepy the longer I sleep. Like if I get a normal hours of sleep, I'm more sleepy than if I get like 3 or 4 hours of sleep. I function better off of 3 to 4 hours of sleep than I do off of 5 to 6 hours of sleep because I have ADHD. Like, so theoretically, I do better with naps and with like a wonky sleep schedule than I do a normal sleep schedule like other people. And that goes for a lot of people who have ADHD, which is just funny to me. But I didn't know that. Like, for the longest time, I was trying to, like, force myself into, like, a normal sleep schedule. And I was like, why am I tired all the time? Why do I feel like death? And then my therapist explained it to me, and I was like, oh, well, shit. And now she's like, well, you should still watch how much you sleep because it'll feed into your depression. And you don't want to feed into your depression too much. And I'm like, well, shit, man. Balancing act. That's not fun. But I digress. That's a whole other tangent. Got way off topic there.
It's the ADHD.
It's the ADHD. uh, yeah, we'll just blame that. So, going back on topic, um, going over the different types of relationships, such as family, friends, coworkers, and I would like to include pets as well, because pets are family. And pets count as relationships to me. um, they all serve different purposes in life and in their functions for people. um, I never really had the best family growing up, so I can't really speak towards that topic. I'm gonna hand it over to Taiwai for that.
So, growing up as an only child, I pretty much only had my folks and the occasional friends here and there. Because of that, my folks and I are really close. They were and are pretty good parents, and at times my mom can be draining to deal with, and my dad can bring the mood down in a room pretty quick. But all in all, it's one of those situations where, for as far as like mental health goes, I'm happy to have them in my life, to interact with them, to be able to talk with them, and have them over on a weekly basis. As kind of a, I know it's gonna happen. We'll talk with them, catch up, spend time with them, even if it is just for like a couple hours for dinner. Um, and so they're one of the one of my main circles of people interaction is my folks. Um, and then past that, it then moves on down to friends and all of that.
Dragneel says they have had to cut out their family, but their husband's family is great, and they have their pets and us all, and their best friend, and other friends.
I that reminds me of your family, which is pretty much cut off from us as well. As far as friends go, I lost most of my elementary school friends when I moved. I moved from a big city in a state to a smaller city in a different state. Um, and so in that move, I had lost like all of my best friends and all the contacts I had. Because this was like 2002 when I moved. And so there was no like, hey, hit me up on Facebook or let's jump on Discord. It was, if you didn't have their phone number or if you didn't have long distance, you really couldn't keep in contact with people. And so I've got a couple of people that I've known since like junior high, high school, but no relationships that long. Those are special relationships to me. And we have a couple of cats that you guys have seen, but I've always had a pet sometime in my life. I can't remember a time in which we haven't had a pet,
Yeah,
be it goldfish or cat.
goldfish.
Yeah, I used to have a couple of goldfish, and the biggest one in the fish tank was named Butterfingers.
That's cute.
Yeah, he lasted a couple of years, then passed away. Oh, that's sad. I lost, so I've been married once in my life, and I've been divorced. And the best man at my first wedding, I've lost him as a friend because he got in with a bad crowd here and decided he needed to change a pace. So he pretty much cut everyone from this town out of his life, moved to be with family and or friends in a state near us. Um, I think like a 5-6 hour drive away or something like that, and almost all but stopped contact with everyone. And occasionally, years ago, would manage to catch up with them or run into them online. Just he happened to be on Facebook at the same time or Discord at the same time, but I think the last time I've heard anything from him was like 3-4 years ago, and it was just like hey, wish you a happy birthday, and then that was pretty much the end of the discussion.
Like fell off the face of the planet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's always rough.
I have a couple of friends who I talk to, who I have known for over 15 years, that I talk to, that I am fortunate enough to still have in my life.
one of them.
And yes, Taiwai is one of them. And I even have a couple who are over 20 years old in my life that I still keep in contact with. But those are far and few between. And the people, it's like the longer I've known somebody, like the least I talk to them. Like I don't the one exception is I have one person who I've known since crap.
Brain fog.
No, I'm trying to math and I can't math, you know
No.
me. Trying to years in my head and it's not working. It's irrelevant. Anyway, can't math in my head, so whatever. Have known the guy for probably about 18 years, I want to say. And I talk to him multiple times a week. He is the one exception. Like, to actually keeping in contact and stuff for long periods of time and actually caring to keep in contact. Everybody else who I've known that long, I talk to maybe once a year or once every other year. Or it's the conversations like Taiyu mentioned, where it's like, happy birthday, and then dead silence. Or happy holidays, dead silence. So, there are a few friends that I knew for a really long time in high school who I've lost contact with because I just don't have their phone numbers anymore, which makes me sad. But I also know that a lot of people who I used to have contact with were really toxic for me. Like, they didn't treat me very good, or they had their own health problems. And I was a person that they would depend on to fix all of their problems. So I had a lot of stress and strain from that. And when things hit the fan, I kind of had to deal with blow-ups of people being upset at me because I didn't do or fix said problems that they wanted me to fix, when it wasn't really my responsibility to fix said problem. So, didn't always know the best people or the healthiest people in my life. So it's probably a good thing that I don't have contact with a lot of them anymore. Then there's just people who never really got to know me, and I never really got to know them because I was quiet and distant, and they were quiet and distant. Because introverts, you know, and as far as like coworkers go, like, I haven't had many jobs in my life or gotten to know like many like people like that. So I don't know the relationship of like coworkers either. Like, I don't have. I am not the best person to talk to, I guess, when it comes to relationships. this is this is what I am finding out today as we discuss relationships and connections to people. I am I am becoming more nervous talking about this.
Well, you're right.
Nervous laughter.
So on the topic of like uh, coworkers and stuff like that, I've had a few jobs. My most recent job's probably been the longest, and my coworker and I have done a little bit of out of work get together and hang out because we share some similar hobbies. Um, but majority of time, my coworkers have always been like they're the friend while I'm at work. They're the people I spend time with while I'm at work. Once I'm off work, then they don't exist. Um, like back when I worked at Pita Pit, uh, I had a few coworkers that I would talk, catch up with, and all that while we were working. But pretty much the second either one of us clocked out, even if we saw each other in public, it wasn't a "Hey, how are you doing?" It was the "Oh, it's that person. I'm gonna kind of scoot past him and pretend I didn't notice him." Um, and that's just because we didn't have any of those commonalities. Um, Drag Neil's talking about people that treated her poorly and cutting relationships. I have done that a few times throughout my life, and I know Glass has done that quite a lot throughout her life. In mine, I had a couple of friends who were bad influences and would try to get me in trouble or try to get me to do things I wasn't supposed to. And when I finally realized what was going on, I kind of slowly cut them back and spent less and less time with them until we basically lost communication. And nowadays, I hope they're doing well. I hope they've gotten on a good path, but I also hope I don't cross that path. You married your first boy. Not that lucky. I did not meet Glass until I had already been with a few people. Though, um, yeah, I get the health issues. I personally haven't had them, but I've had friends and family with health issues. Glass being the one I know the most with health issues. Um, I can say that throughout my time, I've noticed some friends seem to be there, and some relationships seem to be there a bit longer, and other ones seem to be a bit short lived. But you can learn something from any relationship, and knowing when that connection is healthy for you and unhealthy is a hard challenge. Um, I've got a few people that I should have cut out of my life earlier. One that I was hesitant to be friends with in the first place, um, but ended up because we had a mutual friend. One of my close friends was his friend. Him and I became friends. Even though I was hesitant to hang out with this guy. In the end, it worked out, even though I'm no longer friends with him. Because if I wasn't friends with him in the past, I wouldn't have gone down the path that I did, and I probably wouldn't have met Glass either. It is quite hard. I struggle with it, especially as an extrovert, because because I like to be around people, and so setting a boundary when I know just being around groups of people is like beneficial for my mental health is one of those situations where I could use a bit of work on that, just because um like I said, this one particular friend, if I would have cut him out earlier, I probably would have saved myself a lot of heartache and a lot of grief and annoyance. But, or if I would have set the boundary of, hey, and I put up with him because of that one friend. So if I would have put the boundary earlier saying, hey, I don't like this guy, I don't want to hang out with this guy, then I think, it would have saved me quite a few years of stressing about hanging out with people and if this guy's gonna be there or not.
I feel that, Dragneel. I'm also a people pleaser, and saying no is very hard. It takes a really long time to get used to saying no, and even once you get used to saying it, it still feels like this awkward, weird, icky feeling. You may not feel like guilty eventually for not for saying it, but it'll still feel icky like saying it. At least it does for me. Like, I used to feel guilty all the time saying it, and now instead of feeling guilty, it just feels gross. It just feels weird. It still feels like I shouldn't be saying it.
Yeah, saying no's quite difficult. Being an only child, I pretty much only got all my social interactions from friends. And with that, I learned to kind of just go with the flow. Whatever they were doing, I'd be okay with. And it was a situation where it got me in probably more trouble than it should have.
Hello, Bun. Welcome in.
Welcome, welcome. But yeah. So I get where you're coming from directly on that one. And it's definitely one of those that it takes a lot of kind of self looking to say, okay, no, I should be able to say no, and it is okay. Because even now, like, there's times where people are like, oh, let's go do such and such, and I'm like, my heart says, nah, I really don't want to. But my voice goes, yeah, it'll be fun.
I struggle with knowing what is a healthy boundary and what isn't a healthy boundary, because I grew up in environments where there was no boundaries. Like, there was no boundaries at all. So, like, trying to learn that now has been a really big challenge for me. And it's caused a lot of headaches in my relationships. But I'm learning, and it takes time, and I need to give myself grace. So, fun. The day is going well. It has been a Monday for sure. A long Monday. I don't know about anybody else, but it's been hot. It's very hot.
Have a nice night, Dragmeal. We'll talk with you next stream.
Yes, have a good rest of your night, Dragneel. Bye.
I have I'd say for a Monday, it's a pretty average Monday. Not great, not bad. But, I'll take it. Oh, that's so tragic. Um, we've
Oh.
we're all about like pets and stuff like that. So I'm sorry to hear. I know that loss.
We'll be here for you to talk to. That makes me sad. You must have so many good memories, though, of your kitty.
Yeah.
Thank you for the follow.
Oh, 2 years? That's so tragic.
This sounds really traumatizing. For him to die in your arms bleeding.
The last cat that I had that passed away on me was due to stomach cancer. And it was difficult. Probably not as bad as that, but I can tell you that the pain, it never truly goes away, but it does get better.
Yeah, when you lose somebody dear to you, it doesn't ever go away. But the pain lessens over time. At least from what I've heard.
I think over the past 15 years, I've lost 6 cats. Many of them were in the family for quite a few years. I'm sorry to hear.
Mm. The poor baby. I hope he didn't suffer long.
My coworker said they recently lost a bunny rabbit. They had it outside in its little enclosure, and it was perfectly fine and healthy. They went in, had something to eat, came back out to check on it because it was a outside animal. They have a farm, and it was just keeled over in the water bowl.
Oh.
And so it's always sad. But you'd like, oh, it's a good name for a cat.
Batman. Sorry, I couldn't help it. I tried. I can't do the Batman voice.
Yes. If you want, we can always try and cheer you up, even though it won't really work that well, but we can at least offer a bit of distraction.
Yes, a bit of a distraction's always nice. But I don't think anything we can say can actually make you feel better. Especially when it literally happened like hours ago. But having someone to talk to about it, that I hope helps a little bit. Excuse me, I got hiccups. Ugh. Pets are family, and losing them hurts really bad. And I can't imagine, like, if I lost one of my kitty boo foodoos anytime recently, I would be, like, devastated for a very, very long time. Yeah.
You know, when I had to put down one of my cats due to cancer, it took a long. I was crying in a sobbing mess for quite some time. And every time I see that type of cat, I still get a little like pull on my heart. You're okay. Part of the reason we started the Mental Health Mondays was to be a place where we could try and give tips and tricks and help people. As a couple of people who struggle with mental health but are surviving day in and day out, you know, we're living it, so.
Yeah, and we don't mind. Like, I want this to be a safe place for people to come to like talk if they need to. Like, so I'm happy that you found it in your heart to feel comfortable enough to share with us your feelings. As far as going into the military, like, I don't know what to say to that. Like, good on you, I could never do that. Yeah. A lot of death occurs like that.
Yeah. Live every day like it might be your last. Cherish the moments while you have them.
Cherish everything around you.
Raby says it right. It's amazing looking back all the things you take for granted.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to cut the stream off, but it is time for the stream to end. Unfortunately. I am sorry, Bun.
Hope everyone's day gets a little bit better.
Yes, I hope everyone's day gets a little bit better.
No problem. We do have a Discord. Links
We do
in the
have a
description
Discord.
if you want to jump in. And we'll be semi-active. I'm not the best at replying. lying. You weren't here for introductions. I am Taiwai, one of the moderators, and Glass's partner. Glass is the main streamer.
Yes. So we do have a Discord button. If you want to join our Discord, we can talk to you further there if you need to talk more. Just so that you're not alone for the rest of the night or whatnot, so that you have more support. There is the link in the Twitch. Should be easy enough to find. But I don't want you to feel like we're abandoning you. So that is not what we are doing. We just, yeah. Now it's just awkward because I'm an awkward person. But anyway.
Well, we'll end the stream like we always do. Everyone try and do something to improve your mental health. Take care of yourselves, and we'll catch you in a future stream. Whether that's chilling with cozy games and glass, or next Monday for another chat about mental health.
Yes. Everybody have a good week. And I'll see you tomorrow with the streams. Bye-bye.